Did the Titanic really set sail with claims of being unsinkable, or is that merely a myth woven into its tragic tale? When the RMS Titanic was conceived, it was to be the pinnacle of maritime engineering. Designed by the esteemed Harland and Wolff shipyard in Belfast, the Titanic was not just a ship, it was a floating palace destined to dominate the transatlantic route. Its construction began in 1909, a monumental project that promised to fuse luxury with the latest technological advancements. The term unsinkable was not officially bestowed by its creators. Rather, it emerged in the media and public discourse, a reflection of the immense confidence placed in human engineering. This label grew, fed by the ship's impressive safety features, including watertight compartments and advanced navigation equipment. Yet the builders themselves never declared the Titanic unsinkable. This distinction is crucial, as it shifts the narrative from one of hubris to one of tragic unforeseen disaster. As it turns out, the Titanic was a marvel of engineering, yet its legacy was not initially about being unsinkable. April 10, 1912. A date etched in maritime history as the beginning of Titanic's maiden voyage. From the bustling docks of Southampton, England, a colossal marvel of engineering eased into the open sea. Its decks lined with passengers from every conceivable walk of life. The air was thick with anticipation and the hum of excited chatter as the Titanic, a floating palace, promised to redefine the boundaries of luxury travel. Among those boarding were some of the era's most influential magnates, their lives woven with success and opulence. Yet the Titanic was more than just a haven for the elite. It also carried hundreds of hopeful immigrants, their eyes set on a new horizon, a dream of life in America. Each person aboard, regardless of their station, shared a common thread of anticipation and hope. As the ship sliced through the Atlantic waters, the blend of languages and stories filled the air, creating a tapestry of human experience and ambition. With dreams and aspirations aboard, the Titanic embarked on what was to be a historic journey across the Atlantic. Imagine a floating palace. Was the Titanic the pinnacle of luxury travel? Indeed, the RMS Titanic was not just a ship, it was the epitome of opulence and grandeur at sea during the early 20th century. Picture the grand staircase sweeping upward in a glorious display of craftsmanship where first-class passengers graced their surroundings dressed in their evening best. These were scenes straight out of a high society ball. As we delved deeper, the Titanic's amenities were a marvel. It boasted an onboard gymnasium, a swimming pool, and even a Turkish bath. Luxuries unheard of on most other ships of the time. Dining on the Titanic was an event in itself, with lavish 10-course dinners featuring delicacies like oysters and pheasant. But life on this majestic vessel varied greatly. While the elite enjoyed spacious parlors and private promenade decks, third-class passengers experienced much humbler accommodations. Yet, they still shared in the excitement and novelty of the voyage, forming a community within the ship's confines. The Titanic was more than a ship, it was a microcosm of early 20th century society. A serene night on the Atlantic, disrupted by the chilling sight of an iceberg. It was the night of April 14, 1912, a quiet evening that turned historic. On board the Titanic, the air was crisp, the sea calm, but the atmosphere was about to shatter. In the crow's nest, lookout Frederick Fleet peered into the darkness. At approximately 11:40 p.m., his eyes caught the looming shape of an iceberg directly in the ship's path. Fleet's urgent warning, "Iceberg, right ahead," echoed down to the bridge. However, the response from the ship's officers was fatally delayed. First Officer William Murdoch attempted evasive maneuvers, ordering the engine room to reverse the engines and the helm to turn hard starboard. But it was too little. Too late. The massive vessel, hailed as unsinkable, grazed the iceberg, the collision ripping through its starboard side. The impact was less a dramatic crash and more a sinister scrape, enough to peel back the iron plates, allowing seawater to flood the compartments. In that critical moment, Titanic's fate was sealed by a slab of ice. As water flooded the unsinkable Titanic, chaos ensued. What happened in those desperate hours? Moments after the iceberg tore into the Titanic's starboard side, the night air was shattered by the sound of alarms and the rush of crew members scrambling to assess the damage. Captain Smith, faced with the grim reality, ordered the lifeboats to be prepared, but confusion reigned supreme. The crew, though well-trained for regular sailing mishaps, found themselves ill-equipped for such an unprecedented disaster. In the frenzy, orders were misunderstood, and lifeboats were launched half-filled. Women and children first, they said, yet in the disorder many lifeboats departed with seats to spare, a grim testament to the pandemonium that overtook the ship's stringent protocols. Below deck, passengers were met with a maze of corridors filling rapidly with icy water, leading to further panic and chaos. The stark reality set in. There were not enough lifeboats for everyone. With insufficient lifeboats and a crew unprepared for such a disaster, the situation on the Titanic quickly turned dire. The Titanic, once a symbol of human achievement, faced its final hours with a mixture of bravery and despair. As the ship's fate became undeniable, stories of courage emerged from the cold Atlantic night. In the Grand Saloon, the band, led by Wallace Hartley, continued to play. Their music, a haunting melody of courage, floated over the decks as the Titanic slowly succumbed to the icy waters. Elsewhere, tales of sacrifice abounded. Ida Strauss, refusing a seat on a lifeboat, chose instead to stay by her husband Isidore, saying, "Where you go, I go." Their devotion became a poignant symbol of enduring love amidst chaos. In the boiler rooms, engineers worked tirelessly to keep the lights and the electrical systems running, providing power and giving hope to those fighting for survival above. Their selfless acts ensured that the lifeboats could be seen, and distress signals sent long into the night. As the Titanic sank, acts of heroism and humanity left a lasting legacy. The Titanic sank, but the world's fascination with its story only grew. Why does it captivate us even today? When news of the Titanic's tragic demise broke out, it sent shockwaves around the globe. Newspapers and radios buzzed with the horrifying details of the sinking, and the world mourned the tremendous loss of life. This event not only dominated headlines but also stirred a deep emotional response that has lingered through the decades. In the wake of the disaster, significant changes were swiftly implemented in maritime laws. The International Convention for the Safety of Life at Sea was established in 1913, just a year after the Titanic's sinking. This led to stricter safety measures, including improved lifeboat requirements and continuous 24-hour radio watch on ships, ensuring that such a disaster would be less likely to happen again. Moreover, the Titanic has etched a permanent mark in popular culture. Films, books, exhibits, and documentaries have explored every facet of its journey, echoing the intrigue and heartbreak that the Titanic still symbolizes. The Titanic story is a haunting reminder of human vulnerability in the face of nature's might. Over a century later, what have we learned about the Titanic that challenges the initial narratives? As time marches on, the depths of the ocean continue to divulge secrets long held by the ill-fated Titanic. Recent underwater explorations and advanced scientific techniques have peeled back layers of history, revealing insights that question our old understandings. For instance, sophisticated sonar technology has mapped the Titanic's debris field with unprecedented detail. This has allowed researchers to reconstruct the tragic sequence of events with more accuracy than ever before, highlighting possible engineering oversights not considered in the initial inquiries. Moreover, the study of the steel used in the Titanic has brought to light its brittleness in icy waters, a fact previously overshadowed by tales of the ship's opulence and supposed invincibility. Metallurgical analyses suggest that the material standards of the time, albeit cutting edge, were not sufficient to withstand the North Atlantic's brutal ice. These revelations do not merely alter technical understandings, they shift the narratives of human error, technology, and historical interpretation. Each piece of the Titanic retrieved from the ocean floor adds a chapter to its never-ending story. The Titanic disaster, a moment frozen in time, offers timeless lessons. What can we learn from it today? As we delve into the echoes of the past, the Titanic emerges not just as a tale of a ship, but as a profound lesson on human hubris. It serves as a stark reminder of the perils of overconfidence in our technological advancements. The Titanic was deemed unsinkable, yet the ocean proved otherwise, highlighting the limits of human innovation when respect for nature's forces wanes. This tragedy also underscores the critical importance of safety and disaster preparedness. The lack of lifeboats, despite the technological prowess of the ship, points to a grave oversight that cost many lives. It teaches us that safety protocols are not just guidelines but lifelines. Moreover, the Titanic story urges us to reflect on our current practices and technologies. Are we adequately prepared for the unforeseen? Are we humble enough to acknowledge that we might not foresee all possibilities? The Titanic teaches us about the limits of human ingenuity and the timeless need for respect towards nature. Today we've journeyed through the life and legacy of the Titanic, from its grand beginnings to its tragic end. This voyage has taken us from the ambitious design and construction of what was meant to be the unsinkable ship to the fateful night when the iceberg turned ambition into tragedy. We explored the lives of those on board, from the opulent first-class accommodations to the dreams of third-class passengers seeking a new life in America. We witnessed the chaos that unfolded as the Titanic met its icy fate and reflected on the poignant final hours that have since been immortalized in both history and myth. Our exploration didn't stop at the sinking. We delved into the Titanic's extensive legacy, examining how this monumental disaster has influenced maritime laws and safety protocols that are still in place today. The story of the Titanic is not just one of a ship, but of the people connected by this tragedy, and the lessons learned that continue to resonate through time. The Titanic remains a powerful story of dreams, disaster, and the unyielding human spirit. Thank you for uncovering the truth with me.